today's focus is on choking from mount. So we want to be able to get some nice, good, classic chokes from mount. Got John here, so we're just going to cut right to it. The biggest thing that you need to be aware of is when you're choking from mount is one, you got to be able to get there, and two, you have to be able to establish and hold the mount position. Now, if you're not at that point yet, then you need to put a little bit more practice on that. We got other videos on how to get to mount, and once you get to mount, what things you need to hold down mount while the guy's trying to escape. So we're going to assume that that stuff's been taken care of, and now we get to work on the actual choking from mount. So the most classic choke from mount is a palm up kind of choke. So what we want to do is I like to choke with my right hand, palm up being my dominant hand, and my second hand, my left hand, will go underneath. The challenge is John's gi is fairly tight here, so if I put my hand in, it kind of gets stuck and I don't have a lot of room on this other side. So a nice little trick here is to take my left hand first and shoot it in, and all that is to do is to loosen the gi up, open it up so it's a little bit easier for me to get some space in there. Now that I've done that, I'll come back and I'll get my second hand in. Now, if I shoot my hand in straight, it'll start to curve around John's neck, and I get this bend in my wrist, and that's going to be really hard for me to grab the gi, and then my wrist is bent. I don't want my wrist bent like this. If anything, I want my wrist bent this way, kind of like I'm fishing or I'm hooking something. So anytime the wrist is bent backwards, not good for chokes, okay? So to fix that, my instructor, 7th degree black belt, Master Silvio Behring, you showed hook your fingers so when it goes in, you get a click. It locks onto the lapel. Now this is actually a really sneaky little grip. So the first one, palm up. Second one, hooks in and just lock it. Okay. Now the next part is I want my wrist, my elbow, my shoulder all in a straight line, and I want to hide my rear hand. I don't want John to see this right now unless I want him to, and I don't want to for this choke. So right now he doesn't know if it's going to go around, he doesn't know it's going to go under. And the nice thing is because we loosen it up, there's a nice little pocket here to slide my hand in. So nice and straight. If it's bent and I do this crushing style, this is because I'm going to go over and block him. And yes, he's going to try and do that bridge and roll because I'm already helping him do his escape. So I don't want to set myself up. I'm going to lean slightly, arm is straight, and this hand shoots in. Now, we want to find this spot, okay, where it's a nice slide in. And that's going to take a little bit of practice sometimes. You get to here, arm straight, shoot that hand in, and now I can take my right hand and feed my left hand a little bit of the gi. I'm going to turn my palms up, my head goes forward, and I'm going to hook with my feet to finish the choke. Now we got to be careful, it's a little bit awkward, sometimes your hands get tied up when you're choking someone. Now you don't have to choke really fast, just hold the choke position. So again, one hand in, second hand in, arm straight, shoot, feed. Now the choke is coming from me pulling my elbows to my ribs, so it's going to be a nice strong choke. I'm not going to do this. Don't flare your elbows out, you're weak here. Okay, so palm up, second hand palm underneath, make your grips, wrists are straight, if anything bent this way, and pull your elbows to your hips and keep that mount position. Okay, have fun. Okay guys, so now we're going to get on to our second choke. This is actually my favorite choke to do, is palm up, palm down. Now, for myself, sometimes I find it a little challenging to go one up, one underneath. But if you stick to this rule and you can find that pocket underneath, very easy. Palm up, palm down. I find I can hold my mount a lot easier getting into it. I don't get tied up so much being balled up with my opponent. So I can keep a better position and I have lots more time to do the choke. So definitely for me, my favorite choke. Now, same thing. Loosen that gi up. Always going to help you out. Second hand, same thing as before. Palm up. Now, for here, we got a couple different ways to do it. We can go arm is straight, go underneath, and if John feels that hand coming in and he goes to grab it and block it now, I pull it out, bring it around, and put my hand on the floor. Now, my fingers point at a bit of an angle, and you can see my forearm is pushing John's temple to the side. That is actually really important. If my hands are on the floor by his neck, he can do a bridge and he's going to roll me over my fingers because he can still look this way and get a nice strong bridge. So by putting my hand here at a bit of an angle and leaning my forearm on his head when he goes to bridge, I can hold his head and spot. So that's actually really important. It's a really nice detail. So from here, bring it around. Now I'm going to keep that pressure on his temple and my hand comes back to his lapel. Once I find it, I cut his ear off gently and I bring my head down into the, didn't quite get there yet. Here, the tap is already coming. So I bring my head down and over the side that my elbow's on top. Now, if I keep my head over on this side, you can see my elbow's up a little bit. If I bring my head over to this side, my elbow will cut down so I can put a little bit more pressure into it. Now the choke is not going to be on his windpipe. Sometimes it will be if they turn their head. We're still looking for that carotid artery choke. So again, one hand, second hand, go underneath. He goes to block, around here. Okay guys, so now we got a second variation of the palm up, palm down choke. So instead of having this hand onto the temple, we're going to set our partner up by dropping this forearm in. And this is, if you watch Roger Gracie, he obviously does this at a world champion level, so a basic choke done against black belts of a world champion caliber. Hand comes in and you drop this forearm down. So we got a little bit of pressure there. Now if John tries to trap it, he might try to bridge. This hand is definitely going to try and go out. I want to slide this elbow back so it's beside his temple, and I put my head on the floor, bring my hand down to his collar, feed it, cut off his ear again, slide around to the far side. So again, I want, if I got a palm down or a palm up, palm down, I want my head onto this side. Now, I don't have to wait for him to bridge. Sometimes guys don't bridge. So again, we got this hand in first, second hand comes in. Some guys like to do this because it gets their head off the floor, puts a lot of pressure. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Put that elbow right beside their head. Now you can still turn a little bit, so you have to be careful. I put my head down, find that collar, but you see now John's head is turned. Okay, just very similar to what was happening before. And then cut the ear off, would be nice this time, down and slide across. Now what I like to do is when I'm doing this choke to help me get a better mount position, this really helped a lot, is I get my hands and then I just keep my head on the weaker side and wait for John. Now, I'm going to choke at 20%, just hold the grip. If John goes to escape, then I put more emphasis onto the choke. So if he tries to escape at 50%, I'll put 50%, maybe 55 on. If he backs off, I back off. If he goes super hard, I'm going to go hard on the choke. If he backs off, I back off. I want to try and condition John to not want to escape and just stay there. In the meantime, I'm working my mount position. I'm trying to get a little bit of sensitivity to feel of which side is he going to, where do my hooks need to be, what's he doing with his hands to draw some attention, so where I need to defend. So again, palm in, palm in. Get those nice hooks with your legs and it's going to be a super easy choke. Have fun guys. Okay guys, so now we're going to add to our next choke. We did palm up, we did palm up, palm down, and now we're going to go palm down, palm up. So this is a little bit more unorthodox choke. Master Silvio Behring was showing us how to do this one. It's not super important that we get this hand in first, but you know what, it's always nice to loosen the gi up. It gives us more tools to play with. This is the side we're looking for. We want to flip this collar open, and my thumb goes in, and I grab the gi and just make a fist. Arm is nice and straight, just like that first choke we're doing. But instead of palm up, palm down. From here, still want to hide my hand, I just find the lapel. Now it doesn't have to be super high up, it can just be right here. If you go higher, it's okay, but I just need the forearm on one side and the lapel on the other side. So if you turn a little bit, you can see right here when I grab, that's all we're looking for. Okay, so keep the weight on my arm and pull this hand in. That's all you need for the choke. Now it's a fairly subtle choke. People don't really see it coming on because they're expecting that hand to go super deep. So if you bring that hand super deep, guys are going to start trying to fight a little bit more. So again, you don't have to do the first hand in, but you can. Flip the collar, hand comes in, find the spot, arm straight, and just hold the position. Keep this elbow by your hip. So a little bit more unorthodox, might catch guys off guard a little bit with it, or they'll start bringing their hands up to defend a little bit differently. Okay guys, so now we got a nice choke if they start being a little bit more defensive. So always, always, always get that first hand in. Loosen up the collar, makes it a lot better. Now, this hand, same thing as before, shoots in, but now John starts hugging onto this arm. Uh-oh, it's a little bit stuck. Now I can try to go into this move, right, that we were doing before, and it might work really well for you, or we can try something else and be a little bit, just throw them off a little bit. So I'm going to keep my weight to this side instead of to this side. I'm going to cut my hand through, so if John's staying tight in here, I can still get my hand through and then shove it to the floor. I want my elbow to the floor, and I want to put my head on the floor. So I'm going to drive through and put my elbow and my head up here. Now when John lifts his arm up, that's all I'm waiting for. If he brings his elbow back in, okay, you can see it should get caught up on your leg, and I'm being fairly loose right here. So again, if he's staying tight, you drive through, and if he tries to bring his elbow in, it's going to get caught. So now we have opportunities for arm locks if we want, but what I'm looking for is the choke. So when he lifts his arm up, I lift my hips and my hand slides in. I find his other collar, I crawl it up, and I finish my choke. So my other hand is right here. We've got an arm wrap choke. So sometimes it can be a little tricky to see. Cuts through, up, lots of space. Find that lapel and climb your way up. This is why we want to get that first hand in again. Because if it's already exposed, then we can see, or we can find it a lot better. We don't want to give up too much space and try to dig for it and give him an opportunity to escape. So again, one hand in. Here he goes to grab, cut through, up, he lifts. I lift my hips, find that collar, climb it, and hips come in, okay? Everything's the same as the other choke. We're doing this one. The hand can be a little bit lower, that's fine. And we want our wrist always straight, right? Not bent this way, but bent this way. Okay, enjoy guys. Okay guys, for our last choke that we're gonna do from mount right now, it's a little bit of a setup. Maybe he's a little bit wise to some of the other chokes before. Honestly, like I said, that one that I did, palm up, palm down, my favorite choke, I love that one a lot. But you'll play with other ones as guys get wise to it. So one that can be a little bit fun is still you want to get that hand in, right? But now I'm going to put my thumb here, okay? My other hand is going to go a little bit lower. I want to get some space because I want to wrap it around his head. So for here, sometimes guys are doing a really good job of keeping their head on the floor. So put your head on the floor and steer it around, okay? This is what we're looking for. I don't have to be super deep on this one. We got a nice low grip, so the lapel is on that side. And then, just like the other one, you can go here. You can even go lower. If I do this, I'm gonna start crushing his windpipe. So maybe if it's like the last 10 seconds in a sport match, okay, they couldn't get the tap, right? But try to make it nice and smooth. So we wanna slide in, go around. Arm is straight, weight's on that hand, pull. Just like we did the palm up, palm down one, this is just a different entrance into it. So what we gotta watch is, if that head is flat, you wanna try and turn it at an angle. So when you get that hand in, we're gonna lean and make him get his head around it. We want John to try and duck out of the choke or duck out of the head movement. So we want this kind of thing, and his head will lift up. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do without cranking their neck, right? So hand comes in. Now if I grab right here, if I get around to the other side, you can see it's really shallow or really deep, sorry, on this side. You can slide back a little bit, give him some room for his head to fall back into the choke. If I keep it really, really tight, my forearm now isn't choking anything. So I want his head to slide into the choking position. So lastly, that's it guys, just like that palm down, palm up one. Okay, lots of chokes, have lots of fun. Remember, the key here is having a good entrance into mount and having a great mount position so you don't have to worry about getting escaped. Have fun.